You know enough to know what you think is good.
The context may change, but there's something ineffable about what it means to be human being.
The Bible. I'm having religion shoved in my face.
You can't really squelch the arts, especially not among young people.
Existence. My reality is artists. That's all
To create an institution of conservative dogma.
I think the people who live out the mission embrace the arts.
Mount St. Mary College is a Catholic liberal arts college with Dominican roots.
The mission of the college ultimately springs from its motto, D.A.J.S, Veritatem, Teach Me Truth. The college is a Catholic college founded by Dominican sisters with the purpose of giving students a liberal arts education in the Dominican tradition, prepare them for lives of leadership and service, and through liberal arts tradition and professional studies.
The Dominican sisters came to Newburgh in 1883, and they arrived to teach in St. Mary's School on Gidney Avenue. When they arrived, they founded an academy at the same time. Around 1939, they established a normal school.
That is a teacher training school. And so they were training their own sisters to become teachers. And so we built upon that.
But Mount St. Mary College didn't begin as a baccalaureate program until 1960.
We were also the first full four-year nursing program between New York City and Albany.
Originally, after the building was given to the sisters, Whitaker was a space for music. It was a space for music lessons. It was a space for music recitals. This space that we're in today was built in the 60s. At that point, it was the largest venue in the Hudson Valley.
The formal cultural center is not in existence at this time, but it launched us into an atmosphere of great activity in the arts on our campus, and student musical and theatrical productions, and the professional traveling events. So it was very vigorous, and this went on for a good quarter of a century.
Teach me truth. Plant a seed, water me, then I grew. As I succumbed to my youth, I thought I was everything that I knew. Now what am I supposed to do?
D.A.J.S Veritatem, Teach Me Truth. The journey to truth is a complicated one. None of us holds all the truth, save God, I would imagine, but none of us holds all the truth. The interaction, the dialogue among peoples, among disciplines, helps us arrive at truth. So the liberal arts is at the heart of Mount St. Mary College. And the reason for that is because it's at the heart, and it should be at the heart of the education of every person who considers themselves educated.
The person is made up of mind, body, heart, and soul. So if you look at each one of those aspects of the human person, each discipline, each way of studying is all important for the person to be a whole person.
So we don't simply focus on intellectual development, but we also focus on cultural, social, and religious development as a whole.
And that is for students to learn the truth about life, to explore, to study different ideas and different ways of life, of living.
At a college institution, I want to incorporate the various disciplines into my body of knowledge so that I can know the truth.
To teach the truth and to be involved in truth has to involve the arts, because each one of the arts contributes to our perspectives and how we will look at the world.
I try to construct my classes in a critical thinking fashion, being able to ask the right kinds of questions. And this, I think, is very much in line with the school's mission.
But it's an art of finding students where they are and leading them out. Educo, which is the Latin verb that is the basis of the word education.
The role of the arts is another way of asking questions and answering questions.
In response to the college's mission, or any college's mission, the arts have always been about what it means to be a human being, which is really a question that needs to be answered and posed constantly. But as far as truth is concerned, and my desire to teach students exactly that, it's not something objective. It is something reasoned, and it is something that's going to vary slightly between person and person.
If that truth occurs in that classroom, or if students see Shakespeare's truth, or the truth of great poets or great writers, then you are lining up with the mission of the college, our college, and in fact, any liberal arts college.
The Dominican tradition, that of Aquinas, for example, is very much in line with what any, let's call it, right-thinking college classroom should be doing.
So the arts should really make us better. They should ennoble us and help us to understand ourselves primarily, but also the truth of others.
So truth is a complicated, and it involves evolving concepts and interaction and dialogue and openness.
Again, a convergence of mission. Find the truth, tell the story, serve others.
Inspiration. But inflation of information got me infiltrated my own body, mind, and soul with indignation. Perpetuating the situation, should I stand for what I believe in, or should I learn as I sit and wait? Then.
Well, we can go back to Warhol. Art is what you can get away with.
Very often the best art comes from one's experiences. The desire to make sense of one's life.
Artists teach about a cultural heritage. So we learn from art, and we need art.
Art is always an important aspect of the development of culture.
Art as truth and beauty should continue to ennoble us and make us better.
In one way, the arts are very much about a sense of cohesiveness, what brings a community together. On a more practical level, I find that the arts are part of what keep the students together.
All great art boils down to the statement of the artist.
We're influenced by each other. We're working off each other's strengths and ideas. And, stealing is valid in art. It's how it works, and pay homage and say thank you very much.
I find my photography a contemplative experience, because my reality as a religious, as a Dominican, is to become more contemplative.
I know I'm in theater because I greatly value the collaborative nature of the theatrical art form.
Very few of the great artists have ever towed the official line. They've always poked at whoever's in charge or whatever is in charge.
And so if I look at a painting and it's great art, I should be able to see a truth in that painting or see beauty. But there might be something very abstract or expressionistic, and I might say, well, that's not really my cup of tea.
Is shocking art for the sake of shocking, is that something that should be dissuaded or discouraged? No, I don't think so. Pure shock value has its place. Where is it? I don't know. Is it here at the college? I don't know. It's not my place to say.
You do have to pay attention to your audience. There's stuff that I will do for an adult audience and I'm not going to do for a children's audience.
As long as the writer knows or feels as though that he or she is in pursuit of a truth, that's what we should be encouraging. Perhaps the arts are not celebrated as much as they could be, but it depends upon what you mean by the arts. I like the pictorial arts or the plastic arts, not as much, and it's unfortunate, but it's also something I think will change very soon.
Or it would be my desire to see the Mount expand their art offerings in the visual arts.
Whether it be photography, which is one of my passions, or whether it be video.
It's typical of the visual arts that you do need space, time, proper lighting to present professionally.
It is a liberal arts institution, and to that end, we really should be a little bit ashamed that we do not have an art gallery, a black box, and that we don't celebrate our artists, our creatives, our people who might be outside of the mainstream. We need to commit ourselves to a celebration of the arts, to a celebration of our artists, to a celebration of our students who want to try to create, and give them the soil from which they can grow.
Learn the process. More so than what they have to say, I think from an administrative level, what's really valuable is how they go about saying it.
Let youth run with it. Their ideas are fresh. Their ideas are maybe shocking, maybe not typical, but youth is our future.
It doesn't matter what the older generations say. The younger generation, if they want to make art, they need to make art and not make excuses.
Your generation sees itself as powerless, unable to do, passive in a way, waiting for permission a lot of the time. You've been taught as a generation to not take risks. And that's where it's things like the creation of art, that's where we see that. Art is all about risks. If you're really an artist, don't expect the world to be a safe place for you. The level, the quality, the diversity of expression will be the level, the quality, the diversity of expression that the students want. There are ways to do things, and it's hard. And people aren't always as supportive as you want them to be. And it takes long hours, and you get frustrated. And particularly when you're young, it's not as good as you want it to be, and that's really frustrating. But such is the history of art.
I would say pursue what you love, because that's what you're going to be good at. That's what's going to give you real satisfaction.
Never stop writing, if that's what happens to be. Never stop filming, never stop painting. Always continue to hone your craft.
Number one advice to creatives is focus on what you're best at, dedicate yourself to it, work diligently, work hard, don't make excuses.
We're moving into a very exciting time at the Mount regarding the arts, which I think can really be a true, to borrow a word, renaissance.
Be enlightened. Be inspired. Learning is more than courses required. And yes, it will be bittersweet, my youth, but I choose to seek and speak my truth.